Hey guys, my name is Amanda and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 plus spring DIYs that are easy and affordable and using mostly Dollar Tree items. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, please hit that bell button so you're notified every time that I upload. Everyone, please consider giving me a big thumbs up as that really helps me out here on YouTube. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into these DIYs. Here's our first idea. Let's make a set of super inexpensive and easy risers that can hold all kinds of different things as decor. So I found these two plastic containers at Dollar Tree in the Easter section, and I'm going to give each side of them 3 coats of my Waverly Plaster chalk paint. So I paint the outside 3 coats and also the inside 3 coats. But if you wanted to just paint the outside and then leave the inside with the design, that would be cute as well if that is the look that you are going for. But for me, I wanted to paint both sides. Now you can use a margarita glass or a Dollar Tree candle holder, whatever you like to raise this up. I painted this margarita glass with a couple of coats of Waverly Plaster chalk paint, sealed it with Mod Podge, and then used Gorilla Glue and hot glue alternated to glue this to the bottom of my riser. I also painted a Dollar Tree candlestick as I wanted 2 different heights. The Dollar Tree candlestick was already white, but I wanted the look of the plaster chalk paint to make it match the top of this stand. So again, with the Gorilla Glue and hot glue alternated, and then attaching that right in the middle of the bottom of this plastic container. And then you're going to have a couple of super cute risers at different heights, which I think is really nice. Now, I wouldn't put any unwrapped food in here, but if you had wrapped goodies or items, you could totally place them in here, or you could place flowers, whatever you like. I did spray them with Mod Podge sealer so the paint would not scratch off. And here's what they look like with a little display idea for spring and Easter. This adorable little Dollar General bunny and some little flowers. So there's an easy idea for you. Now let's jump into our next idea, the super cute little bunny that I attempted to give a ceramic look. But it's really just a craft bunny from Dollar Tree, which is a styrofoam. I'm going to give it a couple of coats of Waverly Plaster chalk paint, allowing it to dry in between each coat. That's going to be the base of the look that I'm going for. And then I'm going to take a sheet of Dollar Tree transfers. They have all kinds of rub-on transfers, but this particular one is beautiful and it actually has all spring things on it. So what I am going to do is just cut it apart into different pieces. And then I am going to take my little Cricut tool and varnish on each piece separately to give the design to this bunny. Once I get that all done, I'm going to use a glossy Mod Podge to give it that shiny ceramic look. So this part is so fun. You can just randomly cut out little pieces of the transfer, and these transfer sheets kind of look small, but when you start cutting out pieces and placing them on, you really get a lot of bang for your buck. Well, your $1.25. And so this is such a cute deal, I think, because for just a couple of dollars, I really feel like this from a distance at least looks like a ceramic piece, and we all know that a ceramic bunny, especially one of this generous size, would be quite a few dollars in any kind of store. So anyway, I just cut the pieces apart. I'm just varnishing them on, and that's really all there is to that. You just want to hold down the place that you are rubbing on just to make sure that it firmly adheres. And if there's a part that doesn't, all you have to do is just hold it down and go over it again. This was so quick and easy, so I repeat this process until my entire bunny is covered the way that I like it. Just placing pieces down, rubbing them on. So here we go with that. Now again, even if you're not going for a ceramic or glass look, I do recommend Mod Podging over these transfers just so that they do not scratch off. So I do use a glossy Mod Podge for that shiny look. And here's what it looks like. So pretty. Easy and inexpensive. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this down below in the comments and if you'll be recreating one this spring. Okay, our next idea is a large book stack. This is very customizable. I have Easter words on mine, but you could put whatever you like. I use Waverly Pool, Waverly Celery, and Waverly Valley Slipper to paint each one of these little wooden trays from the Dollar Tree. They're quite a good size, and yes, they do have cutouts in the side, but we're going to cover those up. I use hot glue to stack these one on top of the other, but you could totally use a longer term glue if you like. This actually worked okay for me. So I'm just stacking them up, and as I stack, I'm being careful to line the edges up so everything looks nice and straight. We all know that not all Dollar Tree items are created equally, so you may have to play around with it to get everything lined up, as you may have one that's a little bit larger, but you can totally make this work. So here's what it looks like so far. Now I'm just showing you that I am going to be covering up those sides. So for that, just grab a ribbon that you like. I grabbed this pretty blue ribbon from Dollar Tree, but any ribbon would look really nice depending on what colors you chose to use on this book stack. I'm just going to take the end of the ribbon and glue it to the bottom inside of my book stack, stretch it around and glue the other end down as well, and then I'll just trim off the excess. I did decide that I wanted more of a contrast, so I grabbed another ribbon I had in my stash. This is a beautiful ribbon. I believe I got it on clearance at Michael's, but any ribbon that you like. Dollar Tree has some really pretty festive ribbons as well, and I just made it thinner by folding the sides in. That way my blue ribbon will show on the edges and add that contrast that I am looking for. Just be careful of your fingers on this part. I do recommend finger protectors, which Dollar Tree does sell. Now I just repeat the same process. I just glue it down on one side, stretch it across, and glue it down on the opposite side, cutting off any excess. I think this gives you such a beautiful base, and then you can go ahead and decorate this any way that you like. Again, I just used my Cricut to print out things that reminded me of Easter. But you could totally put whatever phrases or words you want on the top of this book stack or on the side of this book stack. Very customizable. So now I grabbed that ribbon that I wrapped around the book stack and I slowed this part down just to show you how I do this expo. I've had lots of people ask me for bow tutorials, so I try to tuck them in where I can. So what I do, and the reason it's called an expo, is I literally just loop it over until I have two loops on either side and it forms an X like so. I then set it down and I either stack another X on top depending if I want a layered bow, or like in this particular case, if I want tails, I just cut an extra strip and I bunch that together with my expo formation, and I either tie it with twine, a zip tie, or a pipe cleaner, whatever I have on hand. They all work really well, but in any of the cases, you will want to pull whatever it is you're using as tight as possible, because the tighter that you pull or tie your middle tie of your bow, the more you'll be able to fluff it out, especially if it is a wired ribbon, and the more you fluff your bow, the better it looks. So when I do tails, like in this case, I like to dovetail them. To give them a boutique finish, I just fold the tail over and cut a triangle upward, and that is how pretty that looks, and it just gives your bow a very pretty finish and just makes it look a little more high-end in my opinion. So here is what my bow looks like. I'm just arranging those loops and tails as I want them. Now I'm trying to decide if I want this facing outward or inward on my little book stack. I decide how I want it, and then I just use some hot glue to glue it down right on top of those ribbons. And again, once you get your bow glued down, you'll want to arrange it a little bit more just to make sure it's laying exactly how you want it. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of greenery in and around this bow. This is just some boxwood greenery, which is very inexpensive at Walmart. It's actually cheaper than a Dollar Tree price now. I just add a little foam rose to the top of my bow, which come 18 to a pack from Dollar Tree. And here's how adorable this large book stack looks. This next idea is super cute, easy, inexpensive, and fun. Something I always strive for in my videos. And so I grabbed a box of Dollar Tree's version of Jenga blocks. I also grabbed these little baskets from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off, so very inexpensive. And these little wood shapes from Hobby Lobby, 50% off as well. But Dollar Tree carries similar shapes now. So with all of these items, I am going to go ahead and lay out my Jenga blocks. So I'm going to lay out 2 sets of 8. 1 set of 11 and 2 sets of 2. So my 2 sets of 2, I'm going to just glue side by side. And then my set of 11, I'm also going to glue side by side. For my 2 sets of 8, I am going to glue them 2 by 2, 4 rows of 2. Those are going to be the walls or the sides of my little tray here. And then these little pieces that are 2 glued together are going to be the ends or the sides, depending on how you're looking at this. But I'm going to be using a cement glue from Dollar Tree, which actually works out really, really well. I don't recommend using hot glue for this part because hot glue can cause your wood to gap and have some funny spaces. So here I am using the cement glue, and now I'm going to take my 2 sides, which are the 8, and I'm going to attach them on either side of those 11 laying down. Then I'm going to take the pieces of 2 and add some glue on either side in the bottom and just attach them like so. And then you're going to have a cute little box that can be decorated several different ways. And this cement glue works really well. Of course, I am not sponsored in any way, but when I find a product that works well, I like to tell you guys about it. Now taking these little wood cutouts and just using some paint markers, I will say these little wood cutouts work really well, and now Dollar Tree carries several of them. But if you can't find them, if you get them at Hobby Lobby, 50% off, they're right around the same price. Then I'm going to take these cute little baskets from Hobby Lobby and some Dollar Tree moss, and I'm just going to fill each basket with some moss. I like to do this because it looks adorable, and also when it is filled up with moss, I don't have to use as much other product in there to make it look full and nice. Once I have my basket prepared, and I've also colored my little die cuts with my markers whatever way I like, I'm then going to fill up my little baskets. I have these little carrots that you can get from Hobby Lobby very inexpensively if you get them 50% off, but you can put whatever you want in your basket. For my middle basket, I'm just going to take some lavender I had in my stash, and I'm just going to cut that down into teeny tiny little pieces so it fits nicely in my basket. But again, you can use whatever you like in there. Now I'm going to go back to my box, and I'm going to paint it with Waverly Plaster Chalk Paint. I do 2 coats to make this look opaque. One of my little guys is waving at you guys. Once that is done, I'm going to take my little wood cutouts and glue them down. And oh my gosh, sorry, my fingers are super painted. But I'm going to glue this little watering can that I painted blue or colored blue. And then these little purple butterflies on either side. Fun fact, purple is my very favorite color. So this was super cute to me, but again, so customizable. The sky is the limit. You could totally omit these little wooden cutouts if you didn't want them. You could put a word on the front or a phrase. So just customize this to your liking. And then I just went ahead and placed my little basket inside. If you do the box exactly the way that I did, these little baskets from Hobby Lobby fit inside perfectly. Of course, if you'd rather place something else inside, that would look cute as well. But here's what this looks like. Perfect for a tiered tray or a little vignette where you just want something cute and detailed to place there. So please let me know what you think about this one down below in the comment section. And if you're going to be recreating this, what colors will you use and how will you decorate it? Okay, let's jump into our next idea. So our next idea is a gorgeous wreath that was inspired by Jessica Lynn at home. I love her channel, and a lot of my ideas are inspired by her, but I like to give credit where it is due, so Jessica Lynn will be linked in my description box. Of course, her DIY is just inspiration. I do like to add my own spin. So I grabbed a foam wreath form from Dollar Tree and I'm going to apply glue to it and put moss all over it. Now, if you do have a dual temp glue gun, this is where you probably would want to use the lower temp. If you're going to use a high temp, please be very careful. I do recommend finger protectors. So do as I say, not as I do, but just glue it all over there and it's going to look a little wily and messy, but you can trim it down and it should look something like this. Now, I found this pitberry garland at Hobby Lobby very inexpensively if you get it 50% off, and I'm going to wind it all the way around my wreath. But Dollar Tree does sell pitberry garland, so be on the lookout for that. Now I'm going to take this cute little basket with eggs in it that I purchased at Hobby Lobby very inexpensively. It was on a little floral pick and I just pulled it off. These two smaller baskets that I'm gluing down are from a pack of miniature baskets at Hobby Lobby, 50% off. So this DIY does have some Hobby Lobby items in it, but very inexpensive. And I just placed some little berries from the floral pick inside of those mini baskets to make them look like tiny eggs. Now I took a piece of wood plank from Dollar Tree. This wood plank comes 6 to a pack, but you can find them at Walmart if your Dollar Tree doesn't have them. And I glued them to the back of my wreath for stability. Now to cover up any places where you can see through to that wood, I used some Dollar Tree moss stones, and I'm going to be coming back in with some moss all the way around those little birds' nests as well. But for now, I just take a piece of doubled over jute twine and I'm tying that on the top side just to give a cute little embellishment. I love the way this bow looks. And then I'll come back in with another moss covered stone and glue that down. These come 6 to a pack, I believe, from Dollar Tree. But once I'm done gluing all my moss down, this is what it looks like. Very easy and customizable. You could use a solid color of pitberry, or you could go around yours with some twine, whatever you like. Okay, so for our next idea, I used a little frame that I found on clearance at the Dollar General, but Dollar Tree does sell items like this as well, and it has glitter in it. I believe it's called a shaker frame. So I removed the back, and of course I'm taking out all of that glitter, and I'm also going to be removing the hanger off of the top. Once all of that is done, this is so easy and fun to customize. So I just removed that top, as I said, or the hanger that is. You can re-add your own hanger, or you can just use this as a shelf sitter. I'm going to take another one of those tiny bird's nests that I got from the pack at Hobby Lobby very inexpensively, and I'm going to be using that. So for $3.99, you get several of these, and at 50% off, they're a very good deal. Now I'm just going to take the back of that frame and some scrapbook paper that I'm using from a scrapbook from Michael's, but Dollar Tree does have different craft paper or Hobby Lobby, so just grab any printed paper that you like and just cut down the size to fit onto the back of your insert for the frame. I am just using a glue stick. You can get a 10-pack of these at Dollar Tree, and they work fairly well. I'm just smearing a whole bunch of glue on, and then I'm adhering my scrapbook paper, and this is going to be the decorative side of my frame insert. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim down the bottom of my bird's nest so that it will fit fleshly against this piece. On it as flat as possible because you want this to fit back into the frame. It is going to be a little bulgy, but I'm going to show you how we fix that. So using hot glue to glue this down and then go ahead and embellish it any way you like. I had this little pick, very inexpensive, from Hobby Lobby, and this is what those little larger bird's nests come on. So I'm just going to take some of the little greenery and some of the little berries and tuck that in and around my nest. Here I originally had called this a basket, so I was correcting that. No, this is a nest. So here I am just cutting down tiny little pieces and gluing them in and around how I like them. And I am using these little berries as eggs there in that nest, as I think that they are the perfect size to be little eggs in there. So I had a lot of fun playing with this, but you could also get florals and greenery from Dollar Tree. At this point though, I feel like if you get it on sale, sometimes you can get a better deal at Hobby Lobby buying in a larger amount, but it's totally customizable to what you're comfortable with. So here's what that looks like. Now I'm going to insert my frame insert, and then I'm going to take some duct tape and I'm going to tape it around the sides and also across the back. This does two things. It holds our frame insert firmly in place as it is a little bit thicker than it originally was, and it also cleans up our back as it's a little bit messy. Now, if you wanted to go over this duct tape with some brown craft paper to further clean it up, that's totally up to you, but I just stopped at this duct tape as I felt like it looked okay. I did go around the edges of the duct tape with some hot glue just to make sure that it was fused and dried entirely into my project. Hot glue and masking tape melt together in a way that they literally fuse onto your project and it's not going anywhere. So here's what I have so far. That nest is smushed up against the glass, but it looks really cute. And now I'm just going to use my Cricut to print out Our Nest is Best, but you could use rub-on transfers on that glass or stickers from Dollar Tree. So the sky is the limit. But here's this adorable little piece that is perfect for a vignette or a tier tray, or you could even do it on a larger scale if you wanted to. Again, you could customize the scrapbook paper and the words or the color of the words, so super customizable, super fun and inexpensive, and I really love this little piece. Okay, our next idea is another little nest sign that's also easy and quick. I grabbed up this little framed sign from Dollar Tree. Here's what it looks like. It had this little pop out piece inside of it that I just popped out and I'm actually going to be using the backing just as it is. It was already perfect. I glued down another one of those little nests from that tiny bag from Hobby Lobby at 50% off in the corner, and then I'm just gluing down some more greenery and little berries from that same pick from Hobby Lobby. I like to cut these little berries for this little nest to be the tiny eggs. So I'm just going to glue those down inside as like little teeny tiny eggs. I think they look so cute. And then of course I'm going to glue some more greenery and things around this little nest. And I just showed you the pick that I like to buy from Hobby Lobby. It comes with the little larger nest on it and some greenery and some berries, and it's very inexpensive. So I like to use these two sizes of nests for various different projects, as you will see in this video. So now just embellish around it. Again, you could get greenery and florals from Dollar Tree as well. Now I'm just taking some moss from Dollar Tree and I'm just gluing a little bit of moss here and there in and around this tiny little nest. I do a little inside and a little around, just to my liking. You could do more or less depending on what you like. Just be very careful of your fingers for this part. Now I have this large roll of pitberry garland from Hobby Lobby, 50% off. I'm going to be using it in several projects today, but I just wrap it around till I have a couple of circles, and I'm going to loosen them here in a second. I decided that I didn't want them placed on top of my nest, but rather around it. But you could choose how you want it to look. This pitberry garland is very, very flexible, so I just kind of unwound it and then wound it looser so I could place it around my nest rather than tightly on top of my nest. So here's what that looks like so far. I think it is so adorable. I just used my Cricut again to print out Welcome Spring, and I placed that right on top of that backing. But you could change the backing if you wanted to customize it with scrapbook paper, and you could use whatever wording that you like. Okay, here's another fun and easy idea using another frame sign from the Dollar Tree. We are going to pop off that little house and the little piece in the middle that holds it up. For this one, I am going to change the backing by just using this piece of scrapbook paper from a scrapbook from Hobby Lobby. I just trace the size out, cut it out, and then I'm going to use one of my Dollar Tree glue sticks that comes into a pack to to lay down a nice thick layer of glue right on top of that backing, and then place in my new backing, which will be my piece of scrapbook paper. I then just make sure that it is pressed very, very well. And then I'm going to take these little cutouts. These are from Hobby Lobby, 50% off, but now Dollar Tree carries similar items. I'm just going to use some of these Art Skills paint markers that I have to paint my little cutouts whatever colors I want, but you could paint them with regular paint, acrylic paint, whatever you like, totally customizable. I just get some different colors in there. I'm using purple for this flower, as purple is my favorite color, and I'm going to do a yellow one with a green stem, and I'm just going to get these super cute the way that I want them so that I can attach them to the scrapbook paper on this sign. So I'm just going to do my larger flower in the middle just with tiny dabs of hot glue, this cute little blue flower, and then to either side I will place my other flowers with hot glue. Super cute, super easy, again perfect for a tiered tray or a vignette. Just be very, very careful when you're gluing down these little items with hot glue, as you can totally burn the tips of your fingers. So Dollar Tree does sell some little pink finger protectors that are perfect for intricate projects like this. But this project was so easy. You could add more embellishments, which is what I am going to do, or you could just add a bow or just leave it plain. I just grabbed up some little scraps that I had and put them there in the corner, kind of going upward and sideways, and here's what that looks like. Super cute and super easy. Okay, let's jump into our next idea. This one came out so cute. I absolutely loved this idea. So from Dollar Tree, I grabbed the set of bamboo rings, and there's a larger one and a smaller one. I also grabbed 3 of Dollar Tree's Jenga blocks, and I'm going to be gluing 2 of them end to end, and then I'm going to be placing 1 of them on top once I glue this ring onto the side like so. So here I have that, and then I'm going to glue my 3rd Jenga block on top of one side, and the reason I'm doing this is to leave space on the other side for my little bird's nest. So now I'm going to apply hot glue all over those Jenga blocks and cover them with a generous amount of this moss, just covering them down and then trimming off any excess. Just please be very careful of your fingers at this point. Again, I cannot stress enough, if you can use those little silicone finger protectors from Dollar Tree, those are a great item to have on hand. But I am just adding down moss, trimming it up, adding down a little more until I get the desired look. Now, this is the bird's nest that came on the little pic from Hobby Lobby that I have been showing you. It is adorable, and it has those tiny little eggs in it. I'm going to glue it to the side, which I only have 1 Jenga block on, and here's what this looks like. Now I'm going to add some more little florals and greenery around this nest just to spruce it up in a way that I like. These are florals from the pic which the nest was on. I have been showing several times in this video, but again, you can get florals and greenery at Dollar Tree if you like. I'm going to just get that exactly how I want it. Then I'm going to pull back out this pitberry garland from Hobby Lobby, 50% off, and wrap it around the bamboo ring. But again, you can get pitberry at Dollar Tree sometimes. So if you have any little hands that want to help, they could hold this stable for you while you go ahead and wrap around the pitberry garland. It is not necessary, but it is super fun, and I absolutely love when little hands come to help me. As they get older, it happens less and less. So please enjoy it while you can if you have little ones that want to help you. Sometimes their help might not be really, really helpful, but the memories that you can make and just seeing their little faces is, oh my gosh, okay, now I'm gonna get all emotional. They grow up so fast, you guys. Anyway, so now that I got that wrapped on, here's what that looks like, and this is just so inexpensive and so absolutely adorable. I just love it. It is perfect for a tiered tray or a vignette, which I feel like I have said several times in this video, but there's a bunch of good, easy tiered tray DIYs in here, which I don't usually do a lot of, so I really like these. And if you want to have a gorgeous little spring tiered tray, here are some perfect ideas for you. Okay, let's jump right into our next idea, which is also perfect for a tiered tray. So I created this little topiary easily and inexpensively. It is so adorable. I had a piece of floral foam from Dollar Tree, a little pot from Dollar Tree that come a couple to a pack, some reindeer moss, and also these, I believe they're called bamboo balls, but they come several to a pack in several different colors. My dowel rods are from Walmart because I couldn't find any Dollar Tree ones, but Dollar Tree does carry dowel rods. So I placed my floral foam inside of my pot, and then I just cut down one of my dowel rods to fit right in the middle of that floral foam and pushed it in firmly. Now I'm taking one of those little, I'm just going to call it a bamboo ball because I don't know what else to call it, and I'm going to make one of the holes larger with a pair of scissors so that I can fit that right on top of this dowel rod. I'm just going to apply some hot glue and push it down firmly, and then I will drizzle some hot glue through the top and sides just to make sure that there is lots of glue pooling there where the ball and the dowel rod meet to make it secure. Once that is done, I'm going to take this reindeer moss and break it apart, and then I'm going to glue it all over this ball. I'm going to glue it on the top, the sides, and I'm even going to flip this entire thing over and glue it on the underside. I am just going to use hot glue, but I would recommend the low temp setting if you have one, and definitely be careful of your fingers. Use finger protectors if you need to. I just glued on large chunks of this moss, and then after I got my ball all covered, I then trimmed it down to the shape that I wanted to make this adorable little topiary. Once that is all done, I am going to be using some hot glue and moss to cover that floral foam at the bottom as well and give this a cute look. I did decide to paint that dowel rod with some Waverly Antique wax. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that originally, so that's why I'm doing it now, but you could do that at the beginning if you like. And then again, I'm just going to cover up that floral foam with some of this reindeer moss. Next step, of course, is totally optional, but I decided to brush some of that antique wax on top of my little pot, allow that to dry, and then come in with some Waverly plaster chalk paint and brush that over top and allow that to dry. I really like the way this looked, but of course that is customizable to how you like it. And here's this adorable mini topiary, so inexpensive. You could make several of these, as the little balls and the little pots come more than one to a package. Let me know what you think about this little guy. My kids called him the Lorax tree. So for my next idea, I'm going to show you how I made this little wooden miniature patio set. I think it is absolutely adorable. My friend had given me a couple of small pieces of scrap wood that were stained on one side and left over from a kitchen project. And then I have these wood planks from Dollar Tree that come 6 to a pack to show you if you do not have these little wood pieces. These wood planks would work as well, and if your Dollar Tree does not carry them, then Walmart does carry something very similar for just a little bit more. But I'm going to begin by gluing 2 of my wood pieces together with one upright. I also showed you some wood slices that came from Hobby Lobby, very inexpensive. I had actually used them previously in a Christmas project, and I am reusing them. I did secure where my 2 wood pieces meet up with a couple of pieces of popsicle stick just to make sure that my bench shape is going to stay in place. I then flipped it over, and to what is going to be the bottom of my bench, I glued on some of these tiny little wood stumps from Dollar Tree that you can get in a package, or you can probably get something like this at Hobby Lobby if you cannot find it at Dollar Tree. I glued on 4 because those are going to be the legs to my little bench. I am then going to go ahead and take 2 more of those little wood pieces, and I'm going to glue them end to end. I'm going to do this twice. These are going to be the arms of my little bench. Then I'm going to take 1 little wood piece and wedge that underneath the arm to support it. I'm going to do this on either side. So to either side of this bench, I am going to use 3 of these little wood logs to form my arm rest. I just use hot glue to attach everything. Guys, I left my little puppy in the other room loudly chomping his bone and came in another room to give you guys a quiet voiceover, and he followed me. So Anyways, here I am applying some of this green moss from Dollar Tree on top and around those little wood pieces of my bench to give it a rustic look. You could totally skip that part if you don't like this look, but I think it is perfect. I even applied some moss to the top of the bench. Now I'm going to take 3 of those little wood pieces, apply hot glue to the top, and take that larger wood slice from Hobby Lobby and just set it on top of the hot glue. Now I will tell you, I have seen Dollar Tree carrying these larger wood slices lately, so keep your eye out if you can find them in your Dollar Tree. I believe you'll just get 1 or 2 to a pack, as opposed to at Hobby Lobby you could buy multiple in a pack that come in different sizes. So just keep that in mind. Now I did glue 2 smaller wood slices on top of those little wood pieces as well for little benches. Of course, I glued some moss around my little benches and my little table, and here's what it looks like. Our next idea is super inexpensive, but really fun and very customizable. You can do this any way that you like. So I'm going to grab a package of 12 little plastic dishes from the Dollar Tree and also some twine. This twine can be found in the automotive section, and you usually get 3 little bundles of it. So for the first basket, I am just going to be gluing twine around and around until this plastic dish is covered. I am going to be gluing here and there just to make sure that my twine forms to the shape of the plastic dish and gives it a basket look. Just be very careful of your fingers. And as I said on the screen, if you have a dual temp glue gun, you can totally use a low temp glue for this project. However, I use high temp and it still turns out okay. Just use little dabs of glue. Once you come to the top of your container or basket, you're going to want to do 1 more loop around the top just to give it a finished look. Now I took a piece of the sticker rope from Dollar Tree and I just figured out how long I wanted it to be for my handles. I am then going to glue down either side inside of this dish to form my handle. I will then be covering right over top of the handle with twine. Again, I will just start looping around the twine on the inside until my entire dish and my handle part is covered, while the inside where my handle part shows is covered, just to give it a nice finished look. So I'll just begin by making a small circle in my fingers with using hot glue until I get a nice circular piece, and then I will glue that down inside the basket and then just continue to go around and around until this whole thing is covered. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I understand me, but I get a little jumbled and wonder, does anybody else understand me? So anyway, basically you just want this whole basket to be covered with twine and look nice, bottom line. So of course when I get to the top here, I'm going to clean up any gluey mess I may have by just going around a couple more times with my twine. This project is so fun and customizable, and since you get 12 for $1.25, you could make many of these very inexpensively. Now I'm going to take another one of these dishes and I'm going to do the same concept but with that larger rope from Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree actually has like several different types of twine and rope, and you could really play around with this. So I cover this basket up, and then for this handle I'm taking some of this thicker cream rope from Dollar Tree and also this wire that's covered in jute twine, and I'm just going to wrap the jute twine wire around the rope. I just thought that this gave this a really nice and interesting look for the handle, and it also helps hold the shape because this rope is so thick but this jute has some wire. It kind of allowed me to bend the handle into shape, and it just worked out well for me. So same concept, I'm going to glue down the ends of the handles inside of my basket, and then I'm going to cover the inside of the basket. For this one I did not cover it with twine, I just added in pieces of hula skirt from Dollar Tree. If you see a hula skirt, you should definitely snatch it up because you can use the raffia for many different things. I just cut it down and placed it in there. Now on my third basket, I'm going to cover my entire basket with that thicker white or creamish rope from Dollar Tree. I just wrap all along the outside, and when I get to the top, I go around to give it a finished look, and then I continue wrapping downward. When you get to the bottom, just make a small circle and glue that down, and then you have another adorable little basket. For this one, I took some of that wired jute twine and I doubled it over. To either end of the handle, I am just going to be tying a little knot or forming a little knot shape with this wired twine, and that way I can glue down the knot on either side to be my handle. So in the middle here, I'm just kind of twisting it to give it a cute appearance. And once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and make my little knot or my little loop on the other side that I can glue down. And I just think that this is so cute. And again, since this jute twine is wired, it holds its shape really nicely. Again, these little baskets are so customizable. If you don't want to use jute or this rope, you could totally use some yarn or whatever you like. So just play around with these and have fun with these. And of course, you could also fill them any way you like. The sky is the limit for that. Moss, raffia, anything like that looks super cute inside of these baskets. And then you can fill them with flowers, eggs, carrots, succulents. I staged mine with some Dollar Tree carrots that come several to a pack, and also a cute little succulent. You can even find succulents at Dollar Tree, especially this time of year. Definitely keep your eyes open. But here's what mine looks like. So cute, easy, and inexpensive. Okay, here's our next idea. Using a couple more of those plastic dishes that come 12 to a pack from Dollar Tree, I just made a little plant stand. Glued my two dishes end to form my base. Again, if you have a low temp glue gun, I recommend that, but if not, you can make this work with a high temp one. It might just melt a little bit, but it won't show anyway. So now I'm just going to wrap about 3/4 of the way up with this dark brown rope from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to finish it off with my cream rope. But you can do that any way you like. Now I'm just taking this wreath charm from Dollar Tree and gluing it to be the top of my little plant table. Dollar Tree has a whole bunch of little wreath charms out right now, and I didn't worry about that little hole showing because I'm going to be placing something on top of this, but you could totally fill it in if you wanted to. And here's what it looks like with one of my little baskets on top. I think it is just so adorable for a tiered tray. Okay guys, let's jump into our next idea. I'm going to show you how I made over and customized this adorable little wooden birdhouse condo type thing from Michael's that I purchased on clearance for $3. I painted the house part with Waverly plaster as my base, and then I chose these different colors to customize it with. Of course, you could choose any colors that you like. Now, I also took a piece of scrapbook paper that I felt complemented the paint colors that I was using, as I'm going to be using that on a part of my roof. Now to the different places of the house, I just painted my different colors. So I painted this light blue color on one of the roofs and also on the little perch in front of that particular roof. Then I went ahead and painted one of the roofs with this purple color. Depending on the color and the thickness, you may want to put 1 to 3 coats just to get the opaque look that you want. I painted the back with the pink and also the front of one of these houses with the pink as well. I also painted the little eave of that birdhouse with the same color. And to this particular roof, I'm going to be adding my scrapbook paper. Then I painted the other side of the house with this green and the front of my third house with the green. So you can really just play around with it. Then I took my scrapbook paper and I just formed it over the roof that I'm going to be placing it on, using my fingers to create a crease so I know exactly where to cut. I will then cover the roof and the scrapbook paper with this glue stick, and then I can adhere the two together. I just think that this scrapbook paper adds a really cute look to my birdhouse. Of course, it's totally optional and totally customizable. So I just firmly hold that in place, and this is what it looks like so far. I did paint my fence and the base of this entire project with this gray paint. Then I'm going to add some moss into that little garden area, and I'm also going to be adding some teeny tiny little carrots into that area as well. You can purchase these very inexpensively from Hobby Lobby, probably 50% off right now. I just add little dabs of glue, and then I place the carrots down into the moss so they look like they are popping out of the garden. I just thought that was really cute. I had these tiny little wooden bunny cutouts in my stash, so I painted them with Waverly plaster chalk paint and glued them to the fence along the garden, as I thought that that was super adorable. I think that for just a few dollars and adding my own personal touches, this little birdhouse condo came out super cute. I'm sorry about the lighting in this final reveal. I had done this early in the morning, and for some reason my lighting was super off. So anyway, I think that you can tell how absolutely adorable this is. Last project is this spring decorative platter. So I got this platter from Dollar Tree, and I've had this since fall, so I paid $1. But I also have some foam eggs from Dollar Tree. I won't be using them all. I have a little wreath form that I purchased in a pack from Hobby Lobby. It came with 4 of them. They were on clearance. And now I'm painting my platter with 3 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the color Platter. Then I'm using that blue color to rim the edge of my plate, and I'm lightly going back over the blue with some more Waverly plaster chalk paint. Now I'm going to take a strip of pretty ribbon that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to stretch it across my platter and glue it down. I'm going to take this little wreath form, and again, I got them 4 to a pack, 75% off at Hobby Lobby, so it was not much at all. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down to my platter. Now this greenery is literally just bits and pieces from my stash. I have a huge tub, and it's where bits and pieces go to hide. So this is literally just tiny bits and pieces. But if I had to guess, I would guess I use the equivalent probably of about 2 bunches of flowers. So depending on where you're buying them from, or if you have them in your stash, would depend the price. But I'm just going ahead and putting this long piece that I had so that it goes toward the bottom and kind of goes across the platter. I think that's really pretty. And then I'm putting some of these little pink flowers all the way around my wreath. I'll be tucking some greenery in there, and then adding a couple of these beautiful little white and yellow flowers. Just filling this as full as I want it. I go a little over the top with it, but I think it is so adorable. I actually gave it to my friend and neighbor, and she really likes it, so I was so happy about that. Now I'm taking this ribbon and making a little bow by looping it over on either side and then tying it in the middle and fluffing it out. Now again, this ribbon from Michael's. I got it last year on clearance, so I did not pay very much for it at all, but Dollar Tree has some gorgeous ribbons. So again, that's a little pipe cleaner. I might have said twine, so that's what I usually use, but I did use a pipe cleaner. So just fluffing it out. Now I'm going to take another strip of ribbon and twist it, and then glue it down to my platter to form the tails. Then I'll apply a generous amount of glue over top of the tails and push my glue, my bow down so that it can adhere as well. Sorry about getting tongue-tied, you guys. But then I'm going to go ahead and dovetail the edges of this ribbon. I want to say thank you once again for stopping by today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And please hit the thumbs up button, as it really helps me out here on YouTube. Now I painted a little foam bunny with blue and white and glued him down. A couple more of those carrots, and I think I only used about 5 or 6 of those little eggs, and I just painted them in the paint colors that I have used for the last project. And here is what it looks like. I used my Cricut to type out welcome spring and just adhere that on there, but Dollar Tree has stickers and rub-on transfers that you can use. And I also popped a little flower in the middle of that bow. So I hope you like this very inexpensive, beautiful Platter. I really hope you enjoyed these projects today. Please let me know which was your favorite. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, friends. See you next time.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel. And thank you for watching today's craft and stay safe.